Can you hear me with this? Remove from the stream. Can you hear me now, you guys? Why is it coming through? Hold on. Okay, let me see if this is coming through my side. Okay. All right, you guys should be able to hear me now. Um, I fixed it. Okay, I fixed it. Sorry about that. They're 10 minutes in and everything I said was not put up. So yes, hear you now. Welcome in, you guys. Yes, hear you now. Amazing. Welcome into WCIA Network, where everything I do and say falls under Section 107, the Copyright Act 1976. The last time I was on, it was all about Rex. And on my drive there, I gave you guys some information. I just spoke as things came through, and it did turn out pretty nicely. And then when I got to Rex's house, I obviously went in front of the house. I didn't realize I was. I looked at my video later, and the video looked really strange. But I got what I needed, and I received information. From there, I haven't spoken to you since. And I have received more information, and I'm going to share it with you. I don't call this a private reading. And what I'm going to do as a private reading is when I hit the road for Tennessee in less than 48 hours. Um, so I had a channeling. I call it a channeling and a reading and information that comes through spirit. And when that happens, I could tell the difference between information that comes through spirit and just information that comes through, like if you were just to have a dream. And all is a dream, just processing your day, right? This here, I'd rather put this one up. This here was information on the Summer Moon Wells children. And I received information on what they're doing with the plexiglass. Um, it's a very it's a very strange thing. It was a vision of myself looking through a plexiglass, and I saw myself in the dream. And I watched myself through the plexiglass as if I was watching myself in real life. And for a moment there, I actually said to the person that was guiding me, am I about to die? Like, am I about to die? Like, what is this? Am I watching myself am I dead? Like, why am I watching myself? Why is this that I'm watching myself? So as I'm watching myself, they're pulling me into a direction. So imagine if you're standing in a room and you look across the room and it's yourself. It's you. You're watching yourself. And whatever you're saying in that moment is being reflected on the other side of the glass. There's a plexiglass. You can't touch or go over on that side, but what you're doing is the same thing. So if I'm sitting here saying something, it's being repeated. This lady pulled me very quickly away from that moment. And as she's pulling away, I'm like, what is going on? Is this, am I dead? Like, that's all I kept thinking. And I see a room full of children that are looking at me behind a wall. And the wall, the wall was like part of I'm speaking it for the first time, right? The wall was part of like a coffee shop, like the back of a coffee shop, but there was a little hole. There was a little round hole in the wall, and this little girl's eye was sticking through, and she was watching me. And they were watching as if they've seen this before. They've seen it before because they went through this same process. And within moments, there was some sort of, what was involved was some sort of quicksand, like, but it was mud. And the lady was pulling me over to the quicksand. And I don't know if there's a car, if there was a car, I was in a car and there was a car behind me. A car went into the quicksand with me. And as I'm falling into this quicksand, but it's mud, but I feel little teeny round pebbles. And these round pebbles are surrounding me, and I'm screaming for someone to pull me out of it. And in that moment, I see that I'm going to be sucked into this quicksand. So there was a fella there that, now that I'm thinking about it, he owned a day camp, a camp. He owned a camp. So what that's telling me is there's a camp where these children go, and he's the director of the camp. And they go behind these walls, but they're watching like themselves behind the wall. And there is a way that some of these kids get pulled under. It's almost like, as I'm speaking it, like my eyes are closed right now. It's almost like, when you mix, when I shown you those mixers of cement. And so what I'm seeing right now is it's that thickness. It's the consistency of the cement. So as I'm saying mud, and I think I said rocks or pebbles, it's it's like the consistency of a cement mixer. And these children go within these cement mixers. And I've shown this to you before, but I've never seen it spiritually. This is the first time that I felt it and saw it spiritually. Like I felt it with my feet. It's their feet go in first and they're aware of it. The victims are aware of the fact that they're going into this this thick plastic kind of plastery feeling. And they know in that moment that they're going down into it. And that's what came to me. And then you guys, I'm trying very hard to know. And then a voice said something to me. And a man's voice, it whispered, and I cannot remember it. So I'm hoping tonight I will. Many times, like when you go back to sleep at night, I hear it. But a voice definitely said something to me in my ear. It was a man's voice, and he said something like, don't tell them, don't tell them something, like, don't tell them something. And I feel as if that don't tell them something has to do with my upcoming trip. Like there's something that I'm going to uncover, and I'm not supposed to say something. Don't tell them, don't tell them. Um, that I don't know because I felt like though that voice was more of the present time. So when I see something like what I just explained to you, that's a vision, that's what's happening and that happened. And then when a voice comes through, sometimes I could tell when it's more present, like in my ear right now, to prepare me for the next coming days. Because as I'm preparing, I ask for protection, right? Um, so that's what's happened. And that gives me a sense of thinking that Rex Her Her Herman 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 did something like the John Wayne Gacy, did something with his victims, like the Summer Moon Wells cases, did something to them that had to do with plaster. Because when something shows to me right after I opened up like a wall of information, which that happened when I was in front of his house, and I'm sticking to it, that I believe that what I saw was let me show you, was that his house, I think that they are I feel like he is like putting them in a wild goose chase, right? The bushes and the trees. I feel like if he were to be watching the news, see, I'm a clairvoyant, right? I could only give you information from where I feel it coming from. And when I feel information come from a certain person, like from him, I'll feel what he would be feeling. Now, everything I do and say falls under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. It's for educational and entertainment purpose only. This is just another channel with another philosophy and another opinion based on something different, right? I feel as if he watches the news and he laughs like he's smarter than they are. He's got this. He's got this. And that when he watches them dig around the area and the tree sits right in the middle and those bushes, that's what needs to come down. And I said that before. I said it before. This is years ago. This is 10 years ago. And I would look to see if he laid new cement. I would look to see if he put a new driveway down in the last 10 years. Did they lay out, did they dig and he put new rocks in the front of his house under the ground, under the trees? Did he lay new foundation down in the last 10 years? Meaning, did he put rocks down before those trees went down? That's what you look under. That's what you look under. And that's what I believe that he'd be laughing. And that's just like John Wayne Gacy, and it's just like Summer Moon Wells. Just like Summer Moon Wells. Here, this isn't my presentation, but what I want to say is I'm going to the convention, right? Um, I was hoping to meet this person in person, but I'm not quite sure which face is his face because all of these faces are Dolly. He's an architect. Uh-huh. Something was built, I would look to see when he did something with cement, with plaster. And this is just a wild goose chase. Yeah, I think they took something away from the property, but just enough to keep him in control. Here, if you look at these 1, 2, 6 different faces, there's 6. So if I were try to figure out which one is he, I wouldn't even know where to begin because all of these faces are Dolly Vision. And I mean, he collected money from a lot of his listeners because he said he's going. So I want to meet him. I don't know if he's still going. He hasn't mentioned anything outside of Sebastian, but his listeners paid for a booth. So that will be interesting. But this here are the different faces of Dolly Vision. I'm just telling you, you guys, these are the faces that are between the frames of Dolly. So if he knows it or not, these faces are the faces of like that RV man, Dave. Definitely. Thank you, Muffin Top. Thumbs up on your way in, please. Thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, that would be amazing. But this is, though, I don't know who I'm looking for. I don't know who I'm looking for. I mean, these 3 faces are different. They're all different. These 6 faces are different. So I will most likely want to find someone who falls into each one of those categories, right? So here, what we're starting with is a little bit of information I want to show you. I'm going to start honing in on the areas I'm going to focus in on during my lives for the next several days. This all comes from, I think this is White Boy Guy. This kind of information is important to show because I want you to look at the outline of the frames. The outline of those frames is what appears throughout all of the videos that I present to you to show you information and images about Summer Moon Wells, about Kylie Rodney, about Idaho 4, about Michael Vaughn. They all have this kind of a frame. Now, I'm not saying that he has this frame. It has nothing to do with the creator. Nothing ever. It has nothing to do with the creator ever. But this is the typical kind of frame that falls around the photo. So what I mean is when something like this shows up, this is a story. This tells me the story of Summer Moon. And it shows me that you're looking at Jody Sue Brown that's stuck in the middle of the particular frame that shows up like this. That's the frame I'm talking about. That's the frame. It's always the same. I do believe that the information lies, the truth of Summer Moon Wells and where they put her has always lied within the Don Wells and Candace videos, within the videos from the beginning. So when I hit the road, I'm going to be focusing on the elements that bring me back to the beginning of Summer Moon, back to the beginning of Michael Vaughn. And that's going back to the tree, back to the water, back to the barrels. Go look in the wells. The wells, I mean, in the ground. Go look for those holes in the ground. This here's Michael Vaughn. Look what Michael Vaughn looks like, you guys. He has the identical elements surrounding him as the Summer Moon Wells case. They consistently have the fake car trimming around them. I am going down to Ben Hill Road. I will be splitting it up, and I will be. I will be. This information here, if you look at Michael Vaughn, he's laying on the same kind of thing as Summer in all the fake cars. These children, and look around the photos. They're not just squares, you guys. They're like created as if you're looking through a separate social media window, as if they layer these through social media, and they're each layered individually with an individual window. They're layered. What I sent into the TBI was I took his video and I honed into the smallest of the smallest frame on the bottom. I don't know what's there. I don't know. I know that there's a Summer Moon Wells there. I know that it gives answers. So all I said is, because they're the law enforcement, I'm not the law enforcement, is rip this shit apart. Rip this apart. I'm like, is that the same logo in there as they show in Which one is it? Not the Watts. The Valo. Is that the same logo that's in the Valo video? You go look at it, law enforcement. You go pick it up. You pick it up. It's the same logo. What's it doing in there? Those are the questions. So the more information that I could gather that is on live stream, amazing. Kylie Rodney and this guy to the right has the same situation. I've shown this before, but what I'm showing you guys is these are layering techniques. But each layer of information gives identical elements to the other cases. So I don't care if Michael Vaughn is layered. What he's layered with are the same elements as Summer Moon Wells. It's going to be a great experience. I load my RV up tomorrow and I hit the road. This is Bella. She's another family I follow. She's, to me, another one of the Kents, the Beestons, all of those people. I went back and I looked at her story, and I find it very interesting how the videos identify with Summer Moon Wells. I would say cookie cutter to the Carnival. Cookie cutter to the Carnival. For those who've always been here from the beginning, the Carnival, the Appalachian Fairground, the Eastman, is it? Eastman manufacturing plant, the water hole, is the carnivals, underground. The plumbing. There's certain things that just come through so loud and clear. But when I looked at this girl's information from so many years ago, I went to the information of the wedding, which of those of you guys, if you guys can, look up Tim Mullen's wedding that he had after Summer Moon went missing, got remarried. This is very similar to Tim Mullen's and the elements that appear. What you see to the right is from Amber Hagerman, Amber Alert. Amber Alert girl, little girl. To me, she was one of the very, very first Summer Moon Wells got gone taken children. And the Amber Alert was named after her. The picture to the left is from this girl's wedding. They have particular elements like this. You need to watch very carefully right now, you guys. This is critical information. The wedding photos that I watched were nothing more to me. Now, I'm looking within the video. David Dotson. Yes, David Dotson. Correct. Thank you. David Dotson got married after Summer's disappearance. Exact same. This is to me the same kind of a wedding. Because his wedding and this wedding spoke to me. It spoke to me. This wedding here speaks to me. I see that the Idaho 4 with their food truck falls into this category. I see Summer Moon Wells at the Carnival falls into this category. This is reinforcing to my psyche that I need to keep honing in and looking at the Carnival because it's pictures like this. This here is from the Idaho 4, and they had a similar kind of a party that looks just like the wedding. But if you were to go into the Idaho 4's parties that Sigma Chi, I think it was, the fraternity house had, if the law enforcement were to hone in on these little photos that are within the videos, they will see the sacrifices made throughout campus. There were more than those Idaho 4. And what these videos show are the kids that were sacrificed. This here, you guys, comes from an Idaho 4 video showing the fraternity parties. That is around his neck. If you look at it, that is nothing more than the number 5 box with the heads on top. All you do is open that up. This, I did not change this. I didn't add anything. This is what it is. It shows sacrifice. It shows the murders. It shows the murders. These are nothing different than what we see going on at the carnivals. Because what I see beneath the carnival are sacrifices and torture. Torture. This here I see as fake. I see all of a sudden the ride is inside a fake fucking room. I see this as Summer Moon Wells. I see this as a deep fake because really what I see is a sacrifice. Nothing less than this. It all began here. All began here. It all began with that little girl on the bottom right-hand side, placed in that square with the purple around her. That is the sacrifice of Summer Moon. This is what happened to her. All of this was pre-planned and pre-done and what I say, produced before we even knew who Summer Moon Wells was. It was done, I would say, before May 28th is just one of those days. I don't know what happened May 28th, but this is Summer's story. This is the carnival that holds all of the elements. And see these boys down here? They're supposed to be on the ride with Daddy. They're supposed to be on the ride. How are they down there waving if they're on the ride? This carnival, this carnival is what I'm showing you, and it's the information it might be showing you here through this carnival like this is the same information that's showing through the weddings. It's the same. You cannot have his sons up on the ride and also waving on the bottom. Somewhere, someone fucked up. Because this is supposed to be done on the ride. This cannot be all of his kids down here and then his kids up here. You understand that this is just telling me that the answers are within the Summer Moon Wells videos from the beginning. Always have been. You guys, they always have been. Every case that we're looking at from this day forward has the same information. Go beneath the ground. Go within the videos. Look further with your eye. Look further. All the same information. Madeline McCain, the Kent family. Over and over and over and over. They're in these boxes, and what I see is what I was shown in my spiritual vision last night. That there's a plexiglass, and they watch themselves in the plexiglass. They see themselves in the plexiglass, but they know they're going to die. They feel death is coming near. I don't think the Wells are still there. I hope I see them. I'll introduce myself. I hope I meet some neighbors. Each one of these three corners, these three photos, they're behind the I see maybe they're not, but I see them behind the plexiglass. And what does that mean? That means that this is being done and filmed within areas beneath the ground. Remember the lady that came out and said, "Oh, she's gonna help." I forgot her name already. Help this girl who said she was Madeline McCain. Well, that's what she looks like beneath the videos. This this is Summer Moon Wells. This is this. It starts out with squares like this, and it gets layered. Under the ground, beneath the ground, in the holes in the ground, within the earth, under the trees, beneath the leaves, by the trees. This here, you guys, this was the very first video. This is the video of the swimming pool, of the swimming hole, at the swimming hole. I've had these photos since day one, right? Each time I show you guys information and reveal new new thought processes and new clairvoyant or psychic information comes through, you see how these appear. There are boxes beneath the greenery. These are holes in the ground. I saw this the day that I watched um the water hole. I'm like, they're showing the holes in the ground. They're showing it. This is what it looks like. And this is what I would look for. This. Whatever this is within the greenery. Within the greenery. What you see to the left is just like what you see to the right from Kylie Rodney's case. The only difference is what you see to the left would be Summer Moon, would be where Summer Moon, they would have put Summer Moon. This is all about the resurrection, you guys. This is all about sacrifice, planting for the new earth. You guys, this dude to the right is who speaks about Kylie. That's the video that followed the Kylie Rodney party. These are the same storyboard, and it's pretty much always surrounded by greenery. Like I showed you here. I showed you that these are machineries. This is telling you that the body parts, the fluids are being placed within the earth, and the system can be found. But the evidence is within the pipes. It's in the ground. It's in the roots. It's in the leaves. And Rex is laughing because they're missing it. I do believe they already took shit out of there, but he's holding on to the big picture because he's getting off on it. Just like all of them get off on it. They're not going to be like, that's a head over there stuck in the trees. Not going to do that. I will not be trespassing, that I could tell you. I will not be trespassing. Anywhere I go, I will not trespass. The face here that appears in front of this girl who's from the Kent family or the Beeston, I don't know which one. The face that appears in front of her, and it looks like it's on the plexiglass, is a face that shows up in other videos. Idaho 4 is one of them. Here, I'm showing this to you guys because I want you to understand, like today's information is, I want you to understand that faces aren't what's important here at our channel as much as it is the story that's being told for the children. Because it's the story and the elements and what they've gone through that is being told. Because no one's telling that part of the story. They change faces. This stuff is what I'm telling you. It's very curious to me why it's not talked about that Brian Kohlberger's face could look like this man's face to the left and no one says anything. That someone could change Brian Kohlberger's face and no one talks about it. And the face that it's changed to shows up in other videos that are outside of the Idaho 4 cases. Plunder does that all. Plunder's videos always show changes in videos. Plunder's videos is where I get a lot of the videos that have been changed. And this is one of them. But it's very important you guys understand that I'm not going after these faces. I'm going after the story. And it's the story that lies within these photos that no one's looking at. It's really important to recognize that the carnival, and to understand that this isn't a photo that I made up. This comes from the video. And this is showing critical information on Summer Moon's case. It's showing right back to Grandis's fake fucking RV. But look what's by the RV that's of importance. The bicycle, the blue trash cans, the big green dumpster, the mattress, a blue box, the stick, the wood. This should not be part of Grandis's RV, but yet it's placed in here as though it is. And I see the story of Summer Moon. I see that all of our elements that they scattered throughout all over their property lies right here in front of Grandis's RV. And they call it junk. Guess what? It is not junk. It tells the story, you guys. And it begs for people to look. It begs for attention, because it gives the information about the story. And this is the information that nobody wants to talk about. Nobody. The stick, bike, mattress, the canoe, it's all here. It's all here. This part of Grandis's RV doesn't show anywhere, but is clearly marked here as a part of her RV that we never saw. Why? The information that shows here are cookie cutter pieces of information that I could cookie cut into the Idaho 4 demolition of the house, Kylie Rodney's information that they show at the beach, Gabby Petito's information that they show in her RV. Michael Vaughn's information, they show this when he's on his little scooter. The barrel is there. Yes, Mary. It's all here. And until decide, the law enforcement has to decide to take this shit seriously and to allow others to give information that may not make sense, that may be very strange and different and not, the same as they're used to doing. But that's okay. They must do something differently if they want to get any type of results. Because I could tell you if they keep doing it the same way, they're going to get the same results, and that's nothing. This here may be an addition that they put on through AI, but they put it on pretty damn well. And they put it on because it symbolizes Summer Moon Wells' case. This does. This information. Every time that you guys see a stick hanging out, just like that, that's a Summer Moon Wells case. It's a Delphi case. It's all of their cases. The cement bricks. Big time. This is critical. This is how they get justice, you guys. They cannot get justice by simply just sitting back and letting just the people go into jail or whatever they're doing. Doesn't work. Just doesn't work that way. Doesn't. Maybe looking at something. Un momento. Back. Let me see. Back here, I have. I want to bring this in because this makes sense. Back here, when I think this is the dog bound hunter, whatever, bound hunter video. And I use this and I'm saying this is some sort of, to me, it looks like a laboratory. And I see the laboratory as a Summer Moon Wells laboratory. I see that. I see people going in and out and buying things. They're buying things in these stores. And Molly Golightly, Bullhorn Betty have videos that are disturbing to me. And it's not about them. It's about the information that matches the elements that I've been showing you, how this information matches, and how they're consistently in a fake car, or they're consistently looking like this. This would be a fake car. And this would be underground railroad. Underground. I don't want to get into this. That is a critical, I don't know what that is, but it's critical. That's a very important piece. I don't know what it is, but whatever that is, you guys, is worth a lot of money. Just showing you. I've shown these pictures before. This is the one I wanted to get at. So this one here, you guys, is identical to this. This is that. Now, for anyone who doesn't know this, they have never seen this before. The Idaho 4 had this creepy guy come up and tell the story of the Idaho 4. And you take the video and you stop it and you get a guy with this white shit on his face, and he's behind the plexiglass, and the Idaho 4 kids are behind the plexiglass, blah 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 blah. But this is what I'm talking about. Each one of them are behind these plexiglasses that bring in another layer of social media on top of each other. And they layer like this. So imagine a room all the way in the back corner, that window, and they're pushing against the plexiglass. This is what it would look like. This. Way back when Timothy, whatever that guy's name, was doing the sermons and he did the vigils when Summer first went missing, always sat behind one of these things. There was a film put in front of him. These are real. These are real. I believe that these are victims fighting for their life. And they're in these rooms, filming rooms, all ages, doesn't matter what sex, and they're filming. They're filming, you guys. And the rooms are always being reflected upon each other. That's what it shows. That's what it shows. This is a system. These children are long gone when they're taken underground. This here tells me so. So when I look at this in the Idaho 4, I see that they were taken for the same purpose. They became the underground system. They've been in this system for a very long time. Just like this. Notice around his neck. Notice what's in the windows. This is what's in the windows of Summer Moon Wells's home. Same thing. Construction. New construction. This is the stuff I'm going to look for when I hit the road. I'm going to look for the new construction. I'm going to look at the dumpsters that other people are not necessarily looking at. I'm going to notice the railroad system. I'm going to notice the piping. This could be Benny Keys knocking on his plaster, on his plastic. This is the Summer Moon Wells case. And when I do hit the road, I'm going to be focusing in on the elements that help tell their story, help bring them justice. Because without that justice, none of these kids are going to come home. This is the story of the Summer Moon Wells. This is the story of all the victims that I talk about on this channel. It's very frustrating that no one wants to talk about it. No one wants to touch it. No one wants to deal with it. We are. We are. Become a member. Become a subscriber. Watch for the next few days, you guys, and enjoy what is going to happen. It will be fun. It'll be entertaining. It'll be educating. But it'll be fun. Thank you all in chat for joining tonight. I appreciate it. I'm so sorry that I haven't gone over to welcome you individually. But welcome, you guys, everybody that is in the chat room. I am going to sleep. I will be organizing tomorrow for an incredible 4 days ahead. On that note, good night, you guys. God bless you guys. And thank you so much for being here.